live here on SourceFedNERD. I am Matt Lieberman, and joining me, as always, full panel is back, Mr. Sam Basher.
Hello.
Miss Maud Garrett.
What's up?
Mr. DJ Wooldridge.
Hello.
Hell yeah. Gang, we are back in almost the full swing of our superhero TV year, and I couldn't be happier. If you're just tuning into this show for the very first time, or you just found us on iTunes or SoundCloud or something, hello, welcome. If you want to watch us live, we tape every single Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time from beautiful Los Angeles, California. So if you want to watch us, you can go to SourceFedNERD on YouTube. You can subscribe, and it'll pop up in your sub box there, and you can watch, and you can chat along with us in the chat, and you can tweet at us using the hashtag #SHRoundup, and I highly encourage you to do so today. Our question for the day, as always, we have one. It's, what did you love most about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premiere? What did they do right this year? And, you know, maybe if you can think about it, what could other shows learn from this premiere if there are takeaways? So today we're going to be talking about Gotham Season 2, Episode 2, Knock Knock. We're going to be talking about Heroes Reborn, Season 1, Episode 3, Behind the Mask. No. And we're going to be talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 1, Brave New World.
Yeah. No. Laws of Nature.
Laws of Nature, that's correct. Brave New World was
last week's Heroes.
Last week's Heroes, exactly.
I got you.
We're also going to be talking about all the news and gossip that we possibly can fit into an hour with 3 episode recaps. But
Gossip. Did you hear what Rachel was doing that?
No. But let's jump into that. Kevin Feige, head of Marvel Entertainment, Marvel Studios, he had a bunch of comments at a recent event for the Blu-ray release of Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Who everybody's so excited about.
Oh man, everyone's lining up down at Walmart to pick it up.
Everyone wants to be the first to pick up their own
You guys
copy.
know that this has been out since September 11th, I think.
Yeah,
but
hasn't
not
it been out for
Blu-ray.
like a month?
But not Blu-ray.
No, in like the UK,
Was Blu-ray delayed?
Australia.
Australia's got everything.
Is his hands? Is he dancing?
He is.
Yeah.
He's doing one of those Muppet dances. Yeah.
So,
one of the
comments.
first things that he mentioned was that Captain Marvel, there was talk of this a while ago, but that Captain Marvel was originally going to appear at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron.
Where?
But, no, during that group shot. Like,
Yeah,
legitimately, with no context, nothing. And that's why he was like, it didn't make sense because we wouldn't have had time to establish this great character. She would just be walking in, people would be like, wait, who the hell is that? Especially at the end of this movie where there's a lot of like, wait, what was that? Who was that? Why is this happening?
Also, it's Captain Marvel. Don't do that to her.
Don't
You don't
shortchange
do that
her.
to her. She needs her own
Don't put
spotlight.
baby in a corner.
Yeah. But also, I love how the shot, now that I think about it, is like this weird, like, they each stood on the green screen, like, when they had time to, and they put them into this, like, hangar. Like, there's plenty of room for plenty more people. Like, hey, throw Captain Marvel in there. Throw Black Panther in there. Everyone could stand in there if you wanted them to. Yeah.
Spider-Man's webbed down. What's going on? It'd be like, basically, it's the equivalent of Hawkeye's cameo in Thor.
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Because we got to tie it in, DJ. It's like that one was the most obvious, like shot way later and just inserted in
For
kind
Hawkeye?
of deal. Yeah.
And also,
really?
Hawkeye and Thor, like
Yeah.
he's in a sound stage. He's not connected to anything else. You never see him and anyone else on camera together. It's just like they built a section of catwalk on a green screen. Perfect.
I still wish we, well, I guess we'll talk about it more in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I wish they hadn't cast Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. I wish they cast somebody that they could have thrown in the TV show.
They could totally throw Jeremy Renner in a TV show.
They could.
Not at this point.
I love when he was on Angel.
I think he even
Listen,
made comments that he wants
He
to.
was on
He's
Angel.
Hawkeye. He's Hawkeye. He was the guy that was supposed to replace Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. He was the guy that was supposed to replace Matt Damon and Jason Bourne. Oops. He was the guy.
Well, no, but I feel like that's like the proof that widespread audiences aren't going to go see a movie just because Jeremy Renner's in it. He's a great actor. He's a great screen presence, but he should be able to just do the work and do his job, which is act more often, which means put him on TV.
Well, there's a reason why his screen time went up completely and they kind of built a story around him for Age of Ultron. It was because I think he may have had a problem with how he was received in the first Avengers. No, everyone was like, he's so pointless. He's not a hero. What's going on? And so when they cut a lot of scenes from Age of Ultron, they kept all of his story. And I think that was to make him a bigger part of the team.
And it worked. It made him, by the end of it, a pretty beloved character, I would
Which
say.
is why we won't see him
Depending
on
on
the
the
TV show.
person you're talking to.
Yeah.
I thought they made Hawkeye kind of lame. I was not bothered by him in the first Avengers. This one was like.
He was really cool in the first.
He had
Avengers.
really good one-liners. Don't you know? Like when he was like when Quicksilver ran off and he's like, "I could do it."
No, I love
one-liners.
I love that. Other things that Kevin Feige was talking about. He talked about Spider-Man, how excited he is, all the things that Spider-Man can accomplish in the universe.
Do we really think the Spider-Man movie is going to be any different than any other Spider-Man movie?
He's 15. It's completely
Spider-Boy.
different.
15, and there will be people from other franchises in that movie. I guarantee you will get at least one cameo in that movie.
Has
No,
to
they
be.
guaranteed Iron Man. They guaranteed it already.
Oh, because of the web shooters?
No. They said there's going to be a scene where he's training with or he's auditioning
Which is your best,
with Iron Man.
Which is your best bet to make all the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, is to have
Iron
him.
Man in
well,
the
no, he was
Spider-Man
auditioning
movie?
with Iron Man and Cap because of Civil War.
No, that was. But no, when they initially talked about Spider-Man, shout at me in the comments if I'm right or wrong. I don't care. But they said that Iron Man will be in the movie as like an audition thing for the Avengers.
No.
There is a quote here that when Kevin Feige spoke to IGN and he said, "I think Spider-Man can serve a great purpose in our universe, and that's where he belongs." That's what was unique about him in the comics, and not that he was the only superhero in the world. It's that he was a totally different kind of superhero when compared against all the other ones in the Marvel Universe at the time. Yeah, because he's like 15.
When studio heads talk, it's a lot like politicians, where there's a lot of words, but none of them really connect to mean anything.
Yeah,
Right.
Spider-Man's
Every
really
time-
special because he was unique and special, and that's what made him unique and special in our world.
Yeah, no. Like as
Cool.
a side note, but the story about Michael Shannon says he just makes things up when they ask about Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Now he's like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm just gonna say lies. And
Yeah.
you're gonna have to just pretend that you think I'm right or
Michael
whatever.
Shannon did an interview recently saying, "I'm going to wear flippers."
Flippers, yeah.
In this one, they're like
Everybody
flippers.
bought it.
Is that with the
Sam,
double P?
you're right.
And then a wrong.
And then a wrong.
It's wrong. No, I heard Iron Man 2. I heard he's going to be in it too. The only reason I think it might not happen is because Robert Downey Jr.
You'd have to
would
pay him
It would
so
be like
much.
half the budget of the movie
Yeah.
just
Right.
to have him show up for 10 minutes.
You got paid
And
$20
they
million
got
for one
Hawkeye
scene.
in the movie. We got Quicksilver to come back.
Yeah,
the
Jeremy
dead.
Lefevre in the chat says, "I really hope that Spider-Man does make his own web shooters. Peter Parker's a scientist." Well, it's already come out that Tony Stark is going to make his web shooters.
But I mean,
did?
Peter Parker
Yeah.
probably still will be a scientist. That's part of the cool part about his rapport
Yeah.
with Iron Man is they're both scientists.
Well,
which is-
exactly. They're both
but
scientists.
one's also 15.
Right, but he obviously looks up to Tony Stark, not just as Iron Man, but as a scientist. And then also, I have to imagine that Peter is going to upgrade those web shooters himself, and like he's like the eager puppy. It seems like they're trying to make him be compared to the Avengers.
I be Sweet's teapot too. I hate it when they make Spider-Man a bitch. He wants to be so bad in the Avengers. He wants to be so bad. I mean, that's sentence
Avengers
structure
should-
we can
He
talk.
wants so bad to be.
The Avengers,
The Avengers should be begging for Spider-Man.
Why?
Why? They've already got so many people.
They've got Thor.
And
I'm
he
pretty
can't
sure
Hey,
they
listen,
fly.
we've got a god and a super soldier and
a witch.
But
yeah,
can
and a
you
witch.
frog
A
out of
freaking
your
witch.
head?
Just about
Your
every
teenage
member
boy?
of the
Yeah.
Avengers can fly.
I rewatched. I don't know if I've mentioned this on Super Roundup yet. I've rewatched Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah, you
first
said
one.
you were jonesing over it.
So
You love it.
good.
Yeah.
He's the perfect director for that because of energy. Like that's one of the things that like the guy that directed Cop Car,
Yeah.
which has kids in it.
Have you seen Cop Car?
I want to. I've heard really good things. I want to see it.
Yeah, I saw his movie Clown, and he really knows how to build tension. I don't know if necessarily he understands that fun tone.
But here's the good thing about that is one thing with Tim Burton and Sam Raimi, if you know genre movies,
Yeah.
you're a good fit for superhero movies. But the
Right.
thing with Sam Raimi, his directing style is so energetic that it was perfect for Spider-Man. You really feel like you're there swinging with him. I don't know.
Spider-Man 2 is one of my favorite superhero movies. It's so good.
Spider-Man 2 is excellent. What else do we have in the old news hopper?
Oh, Doctor Strange. Kevin Feige also spoke out saying that the origin story won't be skipped. This is in the same interview with IGN. He said, for some reason, people sometimes talked about how we were not doing an origin story. We're bored of origin stories. I think people are bored of origin stories because they've seen, they're bored of the ones that they've seen before or origin stories that are overly familiar. Doctor Strange has one of the best, most classic, most unique origin stories of any hero we have. So why wouldn't we do that?
Does he?
Yeah, I mean, he's got
I
one of the
like
most convoluted and one of the most like I don't.
What is he, an
Unique
arrogant
is a good
surgeon?
word.
I think it'd be a good opportunity for them to start the movie with him as Doctor Strange and then slowly unravel
Dole out that
yeah,
stuff.
Like
Yeah.
Man of
but they
Steel?
won't. They like Man of Steel. That's not the best example, but yeah,
But
like Man of
that,
Steel.
but
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
yeah.
Hold on. In a nutshell, what's Doctor Strange's origin story?
All right. Well, you can check out my video I did on it on this channel that you're on right now watching this live stream.
Look up Doctor Strange
also,
101.
he's a world-renowned surgeon. He's a dick, and there's a lot of other backstory. But anyways, he gets in a bad car accident. He loses the use of his hands, so he's not a surgeon anymore, so he starts losing money. Becomes desperate, and so he travels to Tibet as a way of, like, talking to this mystic to get the use of his hands back.
Yep.
And that's the sorcerer, right?
The sorcerer
ancient one?
Ancient one.
Yeah, ancient one, sorry.
And that's going to
Sorcerer
be
Supreme is
Tilda
Swinton.
Yeah. Yep.
And Tilda Swinton, an Ancient One denies him, but after a long thing, DJ, take over for me. I'm tired of talking.
He basically convinces the Ancient One that he is worthy. The Ancient One makes him Sorcerer Supreme, and he's never...
What's the consequence?
For what?
For being the Sorcerer Supreme.
No,
He just is.
Yeah,
He just is.
So there's no consequence except
Right.
the responsibility to use
being the Sorcerer Supreme
and
of
protecting
Earth.
the world from all the evil from alternate dimensions and all that
Most
stuff.
classic, best, most unique. Basically, it's just with
That's a little
great power
stretch.
comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Again.
He's not one of the most the most classic are usually the simplest.
Hey,
Batman, Superman,
Kevin,
Spider-Man.
Bitten by a spider.
Kevin
Yeah.
Feige, we weren't saying that we don't think that you were going to do an origin story. We were saying, please don't do an origin story.
Here it goes.
Can I make a bet right now? I will bet you that he loses the use of his hands not through a traffic accident, but something involved the Battle of New York or some other event from another movie.
Boo.
And that
and he's in the car crash?
Yes, and at the end, some other hero will be coming to him for something involving Infinity War, something mystical involving Infinity
I don't
War.
like
That'll be the
that.
tag. Like,
Yeah, Demo Charge in the chat writes a very concise version
I
of
love
his
it.
origin story. Is an asshole, car accident, Tibet, Doctor Strange.
Yep,
There
love
you
it.
go.
pretty much it.
Also, just following that story, we still don't know who Rachel McAdams is going to play.
It's got to be
Clea.
Clea, right?
Clea.
It hasn't
Yeah.
been confirmed yet, but she plays a
been
very,
confirmed,
very big part of the movie and represents a certain point of view of the worlds that we can experience in that movie.
Yeah, Clea.
Fly, fly.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like she's a skeptic who doesn't believe in magic, and then all of a sudden there's magic, and she has to
Believe in
wrestle with the fact
magic.
that there's magic?
What would be cool is if she is Clea. Isn't Clea as good or better with magic
She
than
is
Doctor
the Sorcerer
Strange?
Supreme of another dimension.
That would be so much cooler.
That would be way
than what
cooler.
you just said,
They
which will probably
they
be the
said
case.
worlds, right? They said worlds in that little quote about Rachel McAdams, maybe? Or
That would be
Yes,
so
sick.
cool.
Worlds.
Ooh.
That we
Hopefully,
experience.
something different other than the way. Like
Quantum
it sounds like
entanglement.
they're
Nice.
making Baron Mordo his black sidekick because every Marvel hero needs a black sidekick.
Sure.
And
Mordo.
hopefully, Rachel McAdams isn't the wafy love interest that they all get.
Why?
Hey,
She would've been a great Harley
Ant-Man has a
Quinn.
Latin sidekick.
Oh, yeah.
Ant-Man does, but Ti sort of. But
Oh,
you're
okay,
right. His
yeah.
main sidekick is.
Yeah.
has a few
In
sidekicks.
DC TV news, Iris West's mom has been cast on The Flash.
And it's pretty exciting. I didn't hear about this till this morning when you guys were sending me the news stories, and it seems pretty exciting.
Variety broke the story. Basically, it's just Iris's mother. We've got Vanessa Williams, who's from Candyman.
Vanessa Williams is an incredible actress.
And she was on Melrose Place. Look, we don't have her character's name yet, and we have no idea what capacity she's going to be in it. We don't know if it's a flashback because she's, still
well, she's
quite
probably
youthful.
going to visit and mess Joe's shit up, or it's an alternate universe where they never got divorced. Yeah, girl.
Man, I was asking before what we'd all be like in our alternate universes. I think it's kind of
Yeah.
cool knowing that there's like another Matt, there's another Sam, there's another Maud, and there's another DJ.
It's
out
not
there.
another Sam.
Is
There's
there?
not another
Could
It's
be
a
another
multiverse.
Sam.
There's infinite choices, but for some reason, there's just not another
There's
one.
no other Sam?
Yeah.
That brought me
makes
to
it
my
special.
favorite a reference I made, that my favorite Marvel character, Phantom X, they made an arc out of the fact that there's only one Phantom X in the entire Marvel multiverse,
That's cool.
Wow.
which is problematic,
Sure.
which means he shouldn't exist.
That's pretty
Ooh.
awesome,
Yeah.
actually, from
was
like
a-
a time travel and multiverse perspective.
Should not exist.
Yeah, let's
That's
do
what Sam
one
is.
more
Sam
piece
should
of
not
news.
exist.
HBO is in talks of a Watchmen TV show.
Oh, you mean
what
what
it
it should have been eventually?
Yeah.
originally.
to begin
Oh,
with.
you nerd.
Right off the bat, although they're talking to Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Hey, they
Hold
have
on.
to.
Isn't
for
Zack
some
Snyder
reason.
a little busy at the moment?
Yeah, let somebody
That's what
else
I don't
do it.
understand.
Let
It's
somebody
got
else do it.
BVS, and then he's got the Batman. I mean, the
Please
whole
let somebody
franchise, and
else
now
do
he's having
Watchmen.
meetings about a TV show. It's like, whoa, take a breather, buddy.
This, but what I remember reading it was that it was from a while ago. Am I
Well,
wrong?
no,
Was it wrong?
the movie was a while ago.
Yes.
He came in and apparently pitched it very recently. It's only just starting to break now. But the thing is, like, it's saying Collider heard it, and then that was like routed through another site, which then was routed through another site. Like, is there anyone super reliable who's talking
no,
about
HBO
this?
confirmed it.
HBO.
They
confirmed
did
it?
confirm
They
that the
confirmed
conversation
it.
happened,
They
but there's
said-
nothing like signed or whatever. Like, basically, don't ever get your knickers in a knot. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Nice.
look,
I've got a direct
HBO, their biggest heavy hitter right now, and has been for some time, is Game of Thrones, and they are trying their damnedest to get into the genre business because it pulls the biggest numbers.
I can't wait until Game of Thrones comes back.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's going to be the best part of our year.
So we can put this Is Jon Snow shit to bed.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. I just
He
the
didn't
Jon
say
Snow
one way or the
shit.
other. He
Can
just
we put
doesn't
it to
want
bed?
it to be a question anymore.
Yeah.
I would like to
'Cause it's
put Jon Snow to bed.
It's a dumb.
What else?
I would like to tuck him in and
I
read
would
him a
like
nice
to teach
story.
him something, so no one yells at him. You know nothing. That's not what I thought I'd be looking at today. Happy birthday, Will Haynes, by the way.
Happy birthday, Will
He's
Haynes.
just walking around naked in the office.
Walking half naked.
All right. It's time. We've been getting a bunch of comments in the chat asking about Gotham, both Get to Gotham and also people asking, should I even bother watching Gotham?
No.
So I said last week that I really enjoyed last week's episode, at least in Gotham terms. It was easily one of the best episodes of the show that I've ever seen. Now, based on this episode, which is season 2, episode 2, Knock Knock, it appears, it appears that your enjoyment of Gotham season 2 is going to hinge largely on whether or not you like the kid playing Jerome,
Totally.
who is basically doing his
Jack
best Jack Nicholson with Heath Ledger's Joker voice.
No.
Yeah. Hey, quick guys, send me your thoughts on Gotham season 2, episode 2 to the Twitter using hashtag #SH_Roundup so I can read your comments on the show.
Jerome is the perfect metaphor for this show.
Yeah.
Because he is because basically it's like we all had that friend in middle school or high school that wouldn't stop doing Joker impressions and thought it was great. Yeah. And that's, if you think Jerome is a good Joker, then
you're gonna like the show
because it's basically a 19-year-old doing an impression of doing lines and gimmicks from other people's Jokers from other shows.
Yeah.
There's nothing new or different or interesting except that he's really young and does not have the makeup.
And redhead.
Yeah.
And a nice smile.
He has the look.
And he's the shot caller of our little gang.
There you go.
The maniac.
So it's just great. I really was really interested to see the arc of how Joker went from a nobody to being the leader of his own gang of psychopaths in an episode.
Oh, charisma, apparently. He can get up on a seat and he can string a sentence together.
And also he knows how many shots are. How great Gotham would have become one of my favorite shows ever if in that bit he blows his head off.
No, you have no idea.
And he was dead. And he's dead. It's like, I guess that's not Joker. He's just dead.
Would have been stunned and delighted.
Yeah.
You would be, but I would be like, I don't think this show knows what it's doing anymore. It has no idea.
I would have actually had more confidence in the show.
No, you would.
I would have.
It abandoned itself in the second episode of the second season. No.
But here's the thing, Sam. Here's the thing that drives me insane about this is he flat out says his name on national television.
Yes.
And it's like all these years later, people wouldn't be calling him the Joker. They'd be like, Jerome blah, 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 alias the Joker,
He
hit
should never
again
have been
today.
Jerome.
Yeah, listen, we found this guy wearing clown makeup hit up a bunch of banks laughing. You don't think it could possibly be that kid that behaved exactly the same way from about 15 years ago?
Yeah, they have the same face,
Couldn't
except
be.
his face is now twisted into a smile. But if you throw it up on the screen there, Janine,
it looks pretty
it's
much
exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
The other thing is, there was a moment at the beginning when the guy at the Gotham was like, guys, we need a story and everything, and bodies were falling behind him. And it's like, I thought it was a pretty effective moment.
That was a good
and then they
scene.
immediately cut to the roof where the criminals are taking all the time in the world just chatting up about throwing the bodies, and they throw the bodies, and they talk about throwing the bodies, and maybe spelling the name right and throwing the bodies.
How'd they get away?
Like, people were seeing what was happening. Why aren't the cops there? Why didn't somebody from the Gazette run up to the top of the building? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, what I do like about this episode and about this season in general so far is this is a full-on crazy bonkers Gotham. This is a terrible place to live. It is on the level of this city needs a Batman far more than last season's Gotham. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like they're actual straight up psychopaths that aren't just dealt with in an episode, that are raining havoc on this city.
Well, we've got a few good comments coming in here. If we could back it up just a little bit, someone was saying, where are you? No, too far. Alex Mina was saying, on the school bus, why don't you just shoot the gasoline. Because you know how they got the cops can't shoot us because it'll blow it up, and then the lighter doesn't work.
That's not how bullets work.
Well,
though.
that's not
how
we could say that's not how bullets work, but that's also not how like pouring gasoline over people. That whole thing really doesn't function.
Okay,
that
and
way.
also like he's still like trailing gasoline. He's got gasoline on him as he's like lighting.
Everybody is doused in gasoline. They
I
light up.
thought it would have been awesome if when he drove the bus away, the fire chased him because the gas is like spilling out of the bus.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like, come on, Gordon, outrun the fire. I got a tweet here from Crystal at Crystal Neebs. Hashtag SH Roundup. I finally kind of like Barbara. I don't agree with that, really. Sorry.
I do agree with that.
Barbara is a lot more interesting now.
I liked her when like she and her Tigress, right? The Tigress were kind of like torturing like the mayor. That was kind of like, ooh, she's kind of cool. But
we're bored.
We're
the boys get to have all the fun.
Ladies, don't you know girls have nothing to do on Gotham? The second you get promoted, you will get killed. The second you become interesting, it's because you're crazy.
And that follows Gio Auditore's comment here going, Gotham is way better without Jada Pinkett.
I like Jada. I
Here's
thought
the
Jada
thing.
Pinkett was probably the best part
I think
of the
Jada Pinkett would fit into this Gotham
a lot better.
A lot better than last season's Gotham.
I also like how they abandoned Gotham City police being corrupt and just went with them being completely and utterly incompetent on every
They're
level
dead.
conceivable.
They're gone.
It's
Their
like-
whole
it's
police
like
station.
freaking-
That happened at least 2 times last
Jim
season.
Gordon, just like he like saunters out after Barbara, and it's just like immediately a bunch of guys that's like we've never seen before, all carrying shotguns.
Well, yeah,
Walk in.
if they've already been wiped out, they're probably the new people. There's so many new people there that no one knows who's working there anymore.
There's such a big turnover. They're like, are you here? Like, did we just hire you? I don't know.
Is Jim Gordon going to be commissioner already?
Probably.
He hasn't even
That's the
freaking
other
done
thing. We got
anything.
rid of the commissioner last season so that Gordon could be promoted just so the new commissioner could be killed. Couldn't we have waited enough?
Yeah,
I
time
thought
that
she
could
was
be
awesome,
stretched.
and I even called it. I'm like, oh man, she's dead. She's
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
dead.
you
She's
did,
like
you called it.
finally like the men are like something like they always like cheat their way up here and then they spoil their job, whatever.
Right.
But it's
I
like,
won't
no,
do that.
I won't
I
do
take
that.
pride in my job.
real
Sam's
quick.
like, she's dead.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne plotline, how we feel right
so
now.
frustrating.
God,
But
He
Bruce
is such
Wayne
a
is
twerp.
Yeah,
oh my
but
God.
I didn't know you could fire your legal guardian.
You cannot. You cannot if you were wondering.
Alfred, I don't think you should do that. Oh, fuck. No, everybody treats him like he's already Batman.
Alfred
He's a-
starts smashing the computer with a hammer.
That was a great. I love that scene.
What would
But-
actually be better if he grabbed this little kid? Because
And
he's
slapped
a
him
kid.
around. I really
Yeah.
would like to see Alfred slap the shit out of
It's
Bruce.
really uncomfortable. I know that he's the butler, but it's uncomfortable when this 14-year-old, who
Yeah.
talking to
talking
his
to
legal
a war veteran, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and legal guardian being like, "You don't understand.
I
Go
gotta-
away." And he's like, "Yes, you're right."
Yeah,
That's
you're right. I'm
uncomfortable.
going to go to the train station now and wait for you to forgive me.
Yeah.
At Deus Matt writes, I'm very interested to see what Bruce's dad was up to in his non-Batcave cave. Why does he have a fight? Why does he have...
Yeah.
Well,
Why
because he
does
was a stoic.
Let me ask you a
he
question.
What's a stoic?
What is a stoic?
What's a stoic?
Will Lucius
should look
Fox
that up.
fix that computer in 11 episodes or in 20 episodes?
I say season finale, turns it on. Thomas's brain has been downloaded into the computer, and he says, "Hey, Bruce," and he does like a heartfelt goodbye before the computer dies. Finally, and Thomas,
probably.
and then
I
it
think
blows
it's a
up,
good bet.
and the explosion hole is just the shape of a bat.
Yeah.
And
no,
Bruce
then
is
the
like,
bats come through. Then the bats come through.
I did like the scene with Alfred and Lucius.
yeah.
I thought that was good.
Ice in a slice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Sean Pertwee's still the best part of the show.
Yeah, except when he's being the bitch for a 13-year-old.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Before we move on, if you are watching this on YouTube, hello. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you absolutely should. There's a little button right there.
doing
Maybe
if you
give the
haven't?
video a thumbs up. And if you have yet to visit us on iTunes, please do. Rating and reviewing the show takes just a second. It doesn't cost you a single solitary dime, and it helps us out considerably. It's how we attract new audiences to the show. It's how we attract new sponsors to the show. It keeps us running, keeps us moving, and keeps you in the know about all your favorite superhero TV shows.
Really quickly, can someone in the chat please tell me what a stoic is?
It's an old philosophy. It's a philosophical stance.
Wait, no, I know what
Yeah.
being stoic, but what is?
No, you're being stoic. A stoic,
stoic, a noun.
was like
And why did it have like a
saying like
ripple effect?
Like what's
You're
a
a
good
stoic.
example? Saying I'm a pragmatist. Like,
Okay, in the comments,
it's a philosophical stance.
Can you tell me what a pragmatist is? What is that? Is a
pragmatist doesn't screw around with like how they feel about something. It's just like, okay, this is the situation.
Being pragmatic.
What
Okay.
is the best solution to it? Let me do that.
Even then, that's more close to how we normally use stoic. It's more. It's almost like a whatever.
Yeah.
Remember that weird comment? Lucius was like, "I loved your father."
Yeah, that
and
was
I had the chance to tell him, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
me?
lot.
You know, that's my dad.
Some
Like,
undertones, right?
What are you doing?
I love your father. Your father was cheating on your mother with me. I loved
I
your
was waiting
father.
for that.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't want to know everything. I already knew too much.
Thanks, Lucius.
All right. Let's move on to Heroes Reborn, episode 3. Honestly, better episode for me. I'm really
disagreed.
starting
I
to
actually
disagree
this,
as well.
I disagree. I like this episode less than last 2 episodes.
Why is that?
I thought things started to come together in a really like kind of haphazard way. We're kind of still sitting on some like, how long is Chuck still going to like brood about his kid? Like, and then storylines kind of align, but they align in weird ways, and we're still withholding information in a way that
I like the withholding.
The withholding will be good if the payoff is good.
Okay.
Right.
If the payoff is lukewarm, all this withholding is going to be
Infuriating.
annoying.
Yeah. Okay.
I was not here when we
Lost.
talked about Miko. Is that her name?
Yes.
Miko?
Katana Girl.
Please, for the love of God, someone in the comments explain what the hell is happening.
I can explain.
No, you
Matt has-
cannot.
Matt has a
I
theory.
can.
All right, really quick, before you explain, send your Heroes Reborn thoughts and comments on Twitter, #SH
And thanks to Juan
That is-
Ferreira for saying what a stoic is.
But that is,
Thank
that
you.
was the stoic. When we use stoic, it's not the philosophical. It literally was a philosophical stance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Damn it.
So, Miko. Her powers don't make sense.
No.
Because they're tied to a sword that is not hers.
Yes.
And most people's powers aren't just tied to one object, at least in this universe.
No.
Now, when she's being interrogated by Harris Prime.
No. Good
yeah.
bit. I like that bit.
Yeah, I like that too. He says father in quotes. Like, did your father tell you that, or are you simply his best work? Which to me says that she is not a human at all.
Yes.
Which also explains why she was just sitting motionless in front of those speakers in her apartment, seemingly for her entire life, with no context, and had not been seen by anybody or talked to anybody until Ren showed up at her house. She is either a construct created from the game,
Yeah.
which maybe he somehow built or
She was-
is manipulating through his abilities,
Yeah.
or she is a robot.
Did she bleed in the fight? She spat blood.
Yeah,
She
She
spat-
spat blood, but I think it's we've been presuming it's a girl teleporting to a video game. I think it's a video game that whoever her dad is, his powers. Clearly, his powers have something to do with the video game. Something weird's going on with that
Do you
video
think
game.
he had sex with one of his video game creations
There
and
we go.
popped
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, that makes
that
sense.
has to
So
be.
you had a
that
hybrid.
can
That's
live in
it.
both.
Yeah.
You had a
She's
hybrid
essentially
creature.
she's a daywalker.
Yeah.
But for video
interesting.
games.
I think another issue with this episode, as you guys pointed out, is there was a lot of exposition dialogue. Like as we were watching, you guys were like, "Why do people keep saying their names out loud?"
yeah.
While guards are around
It's like
and stuff.
like Jack Coleman or HRG says Hiro Nakamura in front of a freaking guard who's going to tell other guards who are going to tell the police who are going to tell the people that are looking for him and therefore Hiro.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people are like Erica's and Harris are walking through. It's like blah blah blah's daughter is held in the conference room as long
Right
as
where
nobody
Ren can hear it. Like,
Right.
okay, cool.
Okay, cool. And it's like, wait a second. Everyone in this building is wearing suits. There's some guy with like funky hair and
He's
a
like,
hoodie who's looking at me. That's not suspicious. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of like convenient Heroes-y bullshit.
Also, one of the things that kind of bothered me, I like the actress that they got playing Molly Walker. A lot,
Totally,
the casino girl.
Francesca Eastwood.
Not entire. She's a good actress. That's not entirely the reason why I like her on the show because she's good to look at.
She's
but
pretty.
Her plotline has a lot of like going back and forth. Like she was captured by Psychic Guy just to escape and be recaptured by the girl. Like, did we need the whole? Can she have just been captured by Psychic Guy to begin with?
And then you had to fill up a whole episode.
And then like she's getting ready to escape, and she runs into Noah, and she's like, "No, you shouldn't be here." And then she runs back to being horrifically tortured.
Yeah, which like
Just
there are
for
people
Noah
just
saving her
standing there
again,
while
like-
a woman is howling in pain, and I'm just sort of like, they're just straight up evil people working for this company. Like at least this woman is like misguided, and she thinks she's like doing the world a service, but like they're just straight up evil people here.
I can't believe that my daughter has also become my best agent.
My best operative. Big smile. Weird.
Like, okay, you said she called you mom, right? We got it. She's your daughter. She's your. We get it.
Yeah.
What's going on with Chuck? with.
I have a theory
Levi's
for that
character.
too.
You
He's
brought it
turning
up,
into a toaster.
He looked like the guy from season 1.
Huh?
Getting ready to blow up. Nuclear guy.
The
was
nuclear
cool.
man.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah, Ted Sprague.
Yeah.
It's not that. What I think happened, because he walked in the hot Texas sun for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And he absorbed a ton of solar radiation,
Damn
which
it.
he then inserted into the knife, which superheated it, which
Into
caused
the
steak.
car that caused the car to overheat.
Exactly. Well, that was even before. Like, that was just like a little taste of it.
Yeah.
But because he walked in the sun for so long, he had enough that it was pulsing through his entire body. When he stayed
That's kinda
outside,
cool.
yeah.
This was what.
He's kind
I
of
was writing a
he's like
fantasy book,
Gambit meets Nuclear
and
Man.
this is what
No,
a race of people like, and now it's being
No,
taken.
it's always been taken, Mom.
Okay.
Don't-
Everything's always
everything's
going to
already
be
been
taken.
done.
Well, I think this is a great idea. Wow.
The things I like about watching these episodes of Heroes that I think it's definitely a case of, especially with the amount of characters, style over substance, because they're not staying very long with characters. But I think the style is pretty cool.
I like the style of the hero shows.
And I think it's a lot more cohesive, at least a lot more cohesive than season 1 Gotham. Gotham 2 is actually one of the things that it has done right is it's gotten a lot more cohesive, which is good. I also think they've gotten a lot better with effects on this show. Like I joked with Matt, like could you imagine Powers with their budget when Clone Guy like brought his body together?
That was
the
good. I
fight
was
with
thinking-
El Vengador was awesome. Where because I was
Where
wondering
Dylan
like,
Bruce threw him through a wall and then knocked him through 2 columns.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you
that
remember
was
like the
so
Heroes
awesome.
Anonymous thing when they met and everyone used their powers at the same time? And I was like, wow, this does not look great at all.
Smoke Guy looked pretty cool.
Smoke Guy-
This
okay, I will say
okay,
Smoke
this
Guy's
episode,
cool.
the hero effects in this episode were pretty.
There you go.
On
All
point.
right.
Dude, let me explain though, for a lot of people who may not know how this show comes together, because it's a very well directed show, it's a very well produced show, but when the way that it's written, and the reason why some episodes are more cohesive than others, is that different writers in the writer's room will write specific storylines and will write scenes and arcs for that storyline, and then after they've written a whole bunch of story, they'll figure out which pieces need to go into what episodes. So some episodes work better together than others because some are just like, we need to establish these plot points here for the next episode to make sense. So there will
That's
always, or like not always, but usually be a couple of bits of an episode that will feel a little off or out of place just because they have to be in the episode to set up the next one. It's produced in a very interesting way.
I have a question from Twitter. At HappyCasey94 writes, how is Chuck just now getting powers, though? That's an interesting question because everybody else, they manifested like just a little bit after a solar eclipse. But there has not been anything that we know of that would manifest
Yeah, but that
powers.
doesn't mean that people still aren't manifesting. I
True,
don't
but like
think.
based on
That's a
like
good
the
question,
universe
though.
that we know, like based on what they've established.
That storyline I'm a little bit confused with because it just didn't really make sense. I don't really believe that they're together and that they love each other. I don't
They
believe that
don't.
the revenge fuels them. I don't. Yeah, it's just kind of.
I also don't like that the white guy in the relationship's the kind of heroic one that's thinking about changing, and the dark-skinned woman is the evil, crazy one that just wants to murder them all.
Yeah.
That makes me a little uncomfortable.
It's a bit
Not crazy.
disjointed. The best work that they've done was the very first episode where he was just by himself listening and then snapped, and then she came in, and that's when I saw him as a team. I haven't really seen them as a team.
They're actually
seems
my
like they
least
kinda
favorite
hate each
subplot.
other.
Yeah, they're my least favorite subplot because I also don't know how are they funding their little escapade. I thought
Right.
before when we saw the trailers, I thought they were working for somebody. It turns out that they're just nutsos going cross country murdering
They're
people.
serial killers.
And she's like delighted.
Yeah.
Delighted at all these people that she can kill.
It's
Yeah.
cool that the teleporter kid can now teleport himself.
That
is
Fun.
awesome.
And I like how I wasn't here last week, but I like how they figured that out. I like that guy. He was on Once Upon a Time. He played Peter Pan on that, and it was evil Peter Pan. It was really cool. It was, and he was one of the best parts of the show.
Completely ripped that plot from Fables.
I know. Hey, dude, the
They
whole show
straight up
is
ripped
a
that plot
ripoff.
from
Yeah,
Fables.
but he was very good in that, and he's been very good in this so far. So I like to see how his powers develop.
No.
Yeah, I continue to enjoy this kid. And I like with every episode, I like his plot line more because I feel like right now, maybe not plot wise, but dialogue wise, it might be the best written, or at least the most
Maybe.
naturalistically written.
I'm interested in Penny for your thoughts, guy.
Superheroes?
Yeah.
Yeah, of the heroes' plot lines. I would say that the kid's plot line
gotcha.
is the most naturally written.
What are some of the powers that we've seen so far? Because this is every time I watch X-Men or anything like that, I'm just so obsessed with the powers that they
Super
have.
strength, Smoke Man,
Yeah.
uh,
Smoke Bomb.
solar
So cool.
energy fella,
Yeah.
The chicken
Cerebro,
fly.
human Cerebro,
The chick can fly.
Chicken
chicken fly,
Yeah.
Teleport into a video game.
Teleport into a video game.
Or she's a video game character.
TBC.
You get an arm chopped off, it turns into a clone.
That's cool. I would
I
totally
always
chop
love
my
that
foot
power.
off to get another me.
Right. Telekinesis fella.
Hold on,
yeah.
He's cool.
Gambling
But
guy.
have we seen the last of him? Because he is great.
Yeah, it sounds like we might have.
Yeah, that's a shame.
All right. Any other points about this episode before we move on? We're probably going to see.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Tweet from you.
Go.
What if Zachary Levi was the cause of the explosion and is lying to his wife about it? Like
That would
his
be cool.
powers were dormant and they just like something triggered it.
There's
So
something
he
very
killed
cool about
his
that.
son.
Yeah.
What if you had to deal with that, so he's kind of just avoiding it and like taking it out
And
on
his
other
wife
people?
thinks that revenge is the best answer, so he's just entertaining that idea because he feels
Or
guilty.
maybe he doesn't know that he was the cause.
Yeah.
Now he maybe starts figuring it out.
Yeah. I hope they don't try to make these characters redeemable or good guys because it'd
Who's
be
the enemy? Oh,
because
they killed dozens of
murdered a lot of
people.
people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in Star Wars where like, hey, Vader murdered a bunch of people and his kids, blew up planets, but now he gets to be a blue ghost because he killed his boss.
Yeah. I like
Doesn't
that
fly with me.
question, that last question there, Zach, that you had highlighted. It's from XCCF2011. Should I start watching the new Heroes? I'm not sure I want to or not.
It's 13 episodes. It's not that big of a
check it out.
commitment.
Yeah, it moves
fun.
fast. It's well produced. It's fun. I would say, if you have time for another show, you could do a lot worse than this one.
Definitely.
Oh,
You
and
could
one
watch Gotham.
Yeah. One last comment. Van Nav whatever wrote from Twitter. Did you guys watch the web prequel series? No.
We've been getting so many emails. No,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean-
we didn't read that. But I remember when the original series of Heroes was on, they had a webcomic series that was great about a girl who could talk to technology, and so they have a pretty solid.
and then
My
like,
friend
web
Zach,
thing.
who's been on this show, worked on that.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
those were very, very well written. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and everyone's like, the Invisible Woman as well.
Oh yeah, what's the deal with that? I was assuming because
Oh, yeah, and
they're in the
Northern
middle
Lights
of
gal.
nowhere. She's walking with Aurora Borealis girl, invisible. So I'm assuming she can't get out of it, and then she just for some reason becomes visible.
Becomes visible right when there are people looking for them.
Like, what is happening?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Hopefully we find out next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aurora Borealis girl is gonna be a main character because she's in all the promo shots of like the group cast.
She's probably clearly the one dealing most directly with whatever the
also the
crisis
whitest
is.
Eskimo of all time.
And
Again, I think she's coming from someplace else. I don't think she's
Okay.
supposed to be an
She's
Eskimo.
not an Inuit. All right,
You're not
fine.
going to dress. You're not going to dress any differently if you're up in the North Pole.
Just can't
Why
wait
did
until
Molly
we-
run away? Why did Molly choose to torture over telling him the truth?
Yeah, I
That
don't
fucking
know.
made no-
Again, that withholding, like apparently whatever it knows or is supposed to know is so awful
I had
that nobody's telling him. And it's like if it just ends up like
How did his
being-
daughter die? Did she die? Probably
Yeah.
because she's on Nashville.
I had a weird thought. Sorry, but that his sidekick guy, whatever, that got shot, wasn't real. That he was like this, like weird, like memory, the memory that's hidden
Which
from
sidekick?
him.
Yeah.
But the like the kind of chubby guy with the beard,
The
that's
conspiracy
following around.
theorist guy.
He had the glasses following him around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Juan
thought-
Jose
yeah, but-
Pellicer in the chat says, "What if it's Shanti Mohinder's sister, the Invisible Woman?"
I don't even remember that character at all.
I do not remember that character at all, but she did speak with kind of a
An
Hindi
Indian
accent.
accent.
Yeah.
Ashanti is a really great singer from the late 90s.
That
or
is
the 2000s.
Ashanti. This is just straight up Shanti. All right, we're now going to move on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Woo!
Season 3, Episode 1, Laws of Nature.
Send your thoughts on Twitter.
yeah,
hashtag.
send your thoughts
Somebody,
on Twitter.
Spencer Francis said we need Chris Eccleston to teach Chuck not to explode. Do you remember he was in the first season
Yeah,
of Heroes?
and he was awesome.
He was really cool.
Wasn't
Man,
he
that-
invisible too?
Yes,
Yeah.
that first season of Heroes was Matt
Where did
disagrees,
he
but
go? I
was
think
I wanna
so
go
good.
He just ran away, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He just ran away and never came back.
Oh, then he was the episode. He was Hornum Glass's partner,
Yeah.
and he ran away. That was a great story. That was a great
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. So we're talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. now, and that is also our question of the day, which is what did you love about this week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? What could other shows learn from this premiere? Because, this episode really was stellar, and it served a lot of purposes, chiefly rebooting the show without changing too much.
Rebooting the show again. I feel like they do
Again.
that every season, and sometimes halfway through the season.
Yeah, a little.
But I think this is probably the best season premiere the show's ever had.
And I
Yeah,
think maybe the
hold
best
on.
version of this show.
Let's
Yeah.
preface by saying you three have watched both the seasons beforehand, and
I've
so you're
watched
hitting the ground running.
parts of season 1, all of season 2. We watched all of season 2, right?
We
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
And,
I don't
and
know
I've
about
seen everything, and you've seen
Yeah, I've seen everything.
So I have watched season 3, episode 1, and that's it.
And how do you feel about it?
It's Well, I have no idea who a lot of these characters were, and I was trying to piece together the backstories. But I got an idea of which characters I was warming to.
Did you invent your own backstories?
Well, no, I went back onto YouTube and I did season recaps to kind of piece it all together for me.
Who'd you say who was warming up to? Who immediately did you like the most out of this episode?
Adrian Palicki's character.
Yes.
Oh, really? Yeah, she's awesome.
What's her name again?
Mockingbird or Bobby Morse.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yep.
Yeah, I was all about the Bob. And then there's nice sexual chemistry there. It almost reminded me of the change rooms of Grey's Anatomy. That's going to sound weird to anyone else, but that's kind of what it was like.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Television.
Cool. Yeah.
I got a great tweet from
Chemistry.
Rhombosaurus Rex. AOS premiere was really awesome. Fitz and Daisy went from being such boring characters to the most interesting. Kind of agree.
I think Ian Kistekastecker has always been the show's
Ian
secret
Dickastecker.
Thank you. Has always been that show's secret weapon.
Oh,
He's
he
always
is.
been the most.
Is that
They
Fitz?
do so
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
with him. They
Yeah.
do so much with him. He
He's
changes.
really effective. It's weird because I think this premiere was a lot better, but I still don't quite. This show doesn't feel like I still don't know what the show is. Like when I go to watch Agent Carter, like, oh man, I'm so excited to watch like retro spy adventures. When I watch Arrow, it's like street level, soapy, big superhero storytelling, Flash, big
Go, go,
sci-fi.
go, 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 go.
Yeah,
No,
like,
no.
yeah. And then when I go to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like, well, there's some spy and the little superhero, and
I was a little bit
it's not like a
confused.
whole entity.
Oh,
for
and then
me.
here the movie comes, and
Yeah,
now
and
it's
then
starting
it's
to make
like
sense.
I still don't like what the show doesn't have a strong identity still. I don't
Oh, there was
feel.
another thing. Sorry, that Kevin Feige said this week was that eventually the movies will reference the shows.
Thank God.
Yeah, which is great, but won't happen for a while.
No.
XCCF 2011 says, I wanted Fitz to go full Liam Neeson on those guys, but I guess him outsmarting them was more his style. I would say that's absolutely right. If
Yeah.
he started Liam Neesoning people, I would be very confused, because in the world of the show, only like 4 months have passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude can't learn a whole martial art in 4 months and master it.
I believed, though, when
Say
he
that
gave...
to Arrow, the sister. Remember
Oh,
how
it's
she
true.
became-
she did great.
Yeah,
huh?
but that was also all she was doing, and she was being trained by
and kind of almost
a
tortured
villain.
by
Yeah,
her
So
dad.
it's not
basically.
possible.
I liked his willingness to give away the splinter bombs. They weren't the splinter bombs,
Yeah.
and those were terrifying in season 2. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah,
They dissolve
totally.
you when they touch you. Yeah, it's terrifying. But I liked that character was willing to do that. I like that he is now willing to do that.
Well,
He's
he's
that
got nothing
desperate,
to lose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose.
That's what I
He's
got from
the,
that.
and you got correctly.
Yay.
I also wish Nick Blood's character
Hunter,
because I keep confusing their names because they're both very comic booky names. I wish they do more because he's replacing Hawkeye from the comics. I wish he had more of a gimmick. I guess like
A
something,
weapon.
something that made him more unique.
Got an accent.
Yeah, I mean he's cool. He's a cool character, but he's definitely between him and Bobby. Bobby is. It's not a relationship of equals when I watch it. It's
So,
Bobby's so
out of his
amazingly cool,
league.
so out of his league.
But Hunter brings the one line. He's Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
He obviously states the situation, and
Also,
that
the biggest-
is detrimental.
The biggest whiplash I had in the episode was going between the train scene between Coulson and new boss lady, that's Rosalind, and going to the hospital with Mac and Sky because it felt like it was written by completely different people. Like you had this really interesting, intricate banter between these two, and then lines like "Go, we need to do this." It's just very blunt, not interesting. The most obvious things.
Where are the Inhumans?
Yeah.
Who the hell has
No
an
one else
answer
knows
for
what
that?
that word means.
And I wish they spent more time in that train sequence because it was so well done. They are studying this woman. They're trying to figure out who she is. She's very elusive. And then
Yeah.
finally, like, boom, they turned, the cards around and said, we're completely in control of the situation. And then they realized that they weren't each other's enemy.
Yeah.
And that kind of was like, right, then what's happening?
That was my favorite part of I think of all the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ever when Coulson's like, wait, is this still like spy repartee or are we actually just saying the same thing right now?
Yeah.
No, because
But
then it made
kinda
more
just-
sense because she was going between all the agencies and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, she's a spy. Like, ooh, she's sneaking into all these. No,
Yeah.
it's like, no, she was just moving around like
Yeah,
a
she was just
normal
being promoted,
employee.
basically.
Yeah.
The Hokasol on the chat says, is Fitz not struggling with his dead brain cell thing anymore? I don't remember. Did they solve that last season?
Sounds like they dropped
They
it.
basically dropped it.
They kind of
Yeah.
tiptoed
He got mostly
right
better
back.
by the
Yeah.
end of the
What
year,
happened?
and
Oxygen deprivation from being at the bottom of the ocean at the end of the
It's
first
leftovers
season.
from a weaker season.
Yeah. They did a great job of moving past it and forgetting
retconning.
Oh,
Yeah.
So be miraculously healed.
it. Yeah, brain damage gone.
Hey, listen. People are using earthquake powers. We've got new melty guy.
Meltdown.
Yeah, Meltdown, which
Meltdown.
will be his code name.
Come on. They don't even have Cisco on the show
that-
to name him, but they will.
Yeah.
Opening scene, which I guess was the one that was released early.
Yeah.
So good.
Was great.
Was really good. Was a really good opener. Really good
The
setup for everything.
CGI was
Pretty on point, especially for
that
this show.
shot of the freaking great glass elevator going up and then the Zephyr 1, I mean, like, that was like movie quality effects.
Yeah.
I agree.
It was
Seriously.
really cool.
Yeah.
Most of the effects were like really on point this week. Even like small things like just having Coulson's hand off
Yes.
for a good portion of the episode.
Yeah.
Like it's like little casual things like that say, no, we are firmly in sci-fi territory now. This is the world of our show. I mean, probably we're not going to see that much of his stump throughout the rest of the season because it's an effect shot you don't need. But the fact that they're willing to just throw money at it to really make this feel comic booky and cool is really nice.
Come
to
on,
see.
how cool is it that his hand's in a case?
Yeah,
holding
it's
that
also
rock
right.
still.
It's also interesting that I think this is the first time with this show that all the cast is interesting.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
because
They shaved off the fat.
Yeah, I like Mac a lot. I like all the. Typically, there's a couple like duds, and it used to be Sky. Sky used to be one of them.
Oh, Daisy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a tweet here. Yenwat at Yenwat13 writes, "I loved how everyone transitioned to calling Sky Daisy except Phil, kind of."
I also
but he's
like
gotten on
that
board.
joke too. Like,
Yeah.
is anybody else struggling with that?
No, just you.
Yeah, because you're dad.
Yeah.
He's dad. He's real attached.
What did you guys think of Lash?
Not as goofy looking as I thought he would be. Definitely
That's what the comments
intimidating.
were. Everyone's like, "Who is the Super Saiyan 3 looking dude?" I was
Yeah.
like, I get it now.
His whiskers aren't great.
I
Yeah.
think they could-
Whisker thing.
Shahir Salam says, oh God, where did it go? It was like, can we talk about how bad his hair was?
Yeah, I think they
whatever
could
it
have
is.
toned down the quills. I think the quills could have been shorter.
His
and that
face
would've been more
makeup
fun.
and
Fun name.
teeth. His face makeup and teeth are great.
Yeah.
I thought they were really cool. Way better than Mr. Hyde from the finale.
Doing the drawing. No, bigger. It's like,
Bigger.
it shouldn't have been. That's fun.
They're just using old belts. It looked like old belts attached to his back. It's just-
I loved seeing Lincoln again too. Like I know that those scenes weren't like as well written as like the Coulson scenes.
Yeah.
But like I like the fact that he got out, that he was doing medicine, that he was trying to help people, and now he's being thrust back into it against his will.
Yeah, Lincoln was kind of a weak link for me. I thought it was like, I'm
Oh,
against it.
weak Lincoln?
No, there you go.
Yeah.
We got to get him in there.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of his accent though? Because did you know he's Australian?
I mean, he's
Really?
been out of all the shows I've seen.
Yeah,
He
he's
has
good.
been American or Canadian of some kind.
he's
So
Aussie.
Yeah, you would never
Well,
know.
good for him.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching Veronica Mars, or rewatching. I've been watching it for the first time
Oh, my
recently.
God.
Hey.
And
So
I
good.
relate him to the Duncan. Pretty but bland.
But kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and will be written out in a season or
yeah,
Oh.
probably.
He's pretty.
And in the most insanely elaborate way possible. I think writing out Duncan is the most elaborate way of getting rid of a character I've ever seen.
I love that Bobby and Hunter are still not over what happened to Bobby in the season finale.
No.
The torture, like that's why she's not in the field. She's not ready yet. She's struggling against that. They're giving everyone, I mean, except Mac really so far.
he's
They're
kind
giving,
of a sidekick a little. There's some tweets coming in saying like he's kind of the sidekick.
He's,
Yeah.
he's the fun, comical
He's-
sidekick
which
guy.
one's
He's the only
Mac?
one
Muscle.
without a
The
storyline.
big guy.
Oh my
axe,
gosh,
who
I
wants a
can
shotgun
hardly
axe.
understand what he says because his voice is so deep.
Really?
It's
so
comforting.
deep.
Yeah, he's comforting. He's like a big bear.
I couldn't hear anyone has a deeper voice than he does.
Yeah, but I like that they're giving everyone's story right off the bat. Simmons on the other side of the galaxy. It
Yeah,
seems.
we got a
Wherever
comment.
the hell
Isabel,
she is.
Isabella Lamprey says, "Where do you guys think Gemma is? There's been a planet already listed in the show called the Interdites. What? Then everyone thinks-
Interdites?
What?
Interdites.
I don't know what that last part is. But where do you guys think Gemma is?
I mean, she's on like some kind of Kree world. The stone thing is
It's
Kree.
Kree.
Yeah, and did you see that from your recaps that the stone could liquefy and then reform?
Yes.
Yes, that was
That's
a
what
great
pulled
effect.
her into it.
Yeah,
right?
pulled her into it,
Yep.
and that was.
And she's
so
also
cool.
at a place where she can breathe.
Yep, we are just gonna accept
Which-
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
which
we're
is a
gonna
little bit
accept
of a
that there's
stretch.
air there.
Hey, Han Solo was frozen in carbonite.
I mean, yeah.
No, but I mean, like the planet she's
The
on.
planet she's on, she can breathe.
Oh,
now.
I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
she's got gills.
And
that we're
she's
not
been
aware of.
surviving there in a desert without food for 4 months.
4 months, but she like covered up her blood, so something's like chasing her, or like
Yeah.
she's on maybe like a battle world,
Some kind of monster.
which
She's
is
on
fun.
War World.
War World.
There you
War
go.
World.
From DC.
War World.
Yeah, from
DC.
DC. She
Yeah.
popped over there.
Professor Snacktacular says Gemma is in Detroit.
I mean, you're not far off.
That was cool. But guys, the best scene is when it's Coulson and
Hunter?
Fitz.
Oh, Fitz.
And they're talking at the end about just like kind of giving up and moving on. And then he goes to the rock and just starts punching it and screaming.
Yeah.
And that's
Do something!
I watched it twice because just that part because I was going crazy of how well he acted.
He
that
did
scene.
a good job. That felt like a little. That's his like.
You've never lost someone
setting.
to a rock, all right?
That's true.
Your rocks never swallow
That's
your
true.
family.
I feel like I could have. That seemed like a very obvious kind of overtop.
Hey, he traveled around the world and got a note that had one word on it.
Death. Yeah, that was
Eric Montague writes in the chat, so Daisy only has to wear those protective gloves when it's convenient, or do her bones still shatter because of her powers?
I mean, probably not. I feel like that's just a design. Because she wasn't always wearing them, I think it's just a design thing.
Would her hands break when she used her power?
It used to be that when she first discovered her powers, that she was literally cracking every bone in her body because she couldn't control it.
Yeah, because in trying to control it.
Right.
She
internalized it.
She internalized it.
Because it was like an emotional
Yeah,
thing.
so I don't think she needs to wear them anymore, but they do help her focus her power when she's in the field.
Which looked pretty cool.
That did look pretty cool.
The melting metal, though, was my favorite. That was so cool.
And I like the interesting. I hope he sticks around. I hope Meltdown sticks around.
Not a
as
helpful
character.
Joey, I love just like casually introducing a gay Latin character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I really want watching this and with the Jessica Jones previews, which have been pretty awesome by the way.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see. Before I really wanted to see Daredevil show up. Now I really want to see Jessica Jones team up with Bobby and Quake.
Hell yeah.
Like-
and just have a badass girls week.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's it. Give me that. I don't need Bobby Nick Blood's character
Hunter
I don't need
spin-off.
a spin-off. I want to see a girls do Marvel's Most Wanted. Have it be Jessica Jones, Mockingbird, and Quake, and we'll throw in the Cavalry just for
Yeah,
just
just
for shits
for-
and gigs.
What's Captain America's love interest going to be? What's her name?
Agent 13.
Shannon,
And let's have
Sharon
Peggy Carter travel in time and be in the present because she's awesome.
Yeah.
And team
And
up
then
with them.
throw freaking Wasp in there. Why not?
Please.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. That would
Please
be
do
great.
something with that character.
So we have the question of the day, as we always do, and I'm going to open this to you guys as well. What lessons could other shows learn from this episode? Because, like, legitimately, I think they did so many things right with this premiere, answering any questions that we had about the quality of the show going forward and what it was going to be like. You immediately dropped into, okay, this is the storyline now is we need to find Inhumans before anyone else does. We've got multiple factions, killing, experimenting, whatever. Every character has story. I'm worried about Arrow Season 4. I mean, the trailer already, to me, as much as I enjoy the show and can't wait to watch it, I'm like, I've seen all this before, and I still don't have a concrete reason why Ollie and Felicity go back and start doing the same old thing again.
To be Green Arrow.
Right, but why? You have the happy ending. Why go back?
Yeah.
He decided never to do it again.
happy endings are boring.
They are boring. But that's what I'm saying is, like, I feel like they need to reboot the show the same way that this show needed a reboot, where you need a concrete reason for the show to go on. And I want like a confident first episode that's like, no, this is the show going forward. This is the next 3 seasons, the next leg of this show.
I have
know
faith
that-
in those guys, though.
Oliver Wood protects 2 things: the city and his family. So if there's any reason why he's going to be coming back, it has to do with something, one of those 2. And I know that's, what is it, Starling City?
Yeah.
What?
Now Star City, right?
Star
Now
City.
Star City.
Because of Ray Palmer's death.
So we don't have Ray Palmer anymore. We don't have Merlin. What's his
Malcolm
name?
Merlin is now Nanda Parbat running the League of Assassins.
Exactly.
Which is terrifying.
So what is happening there? I mean, Speedy's donned the
Damien
red
Dark.
on.
Yeah. Mark W says Arrow has become the Oliver and Felicity show, and that's not necessarily true.
I think a lot of last season was a lot of the second season was playing off of what happened in the first season, and
A lot
I think
of
a lot
backflashes to the island.
Yeah, and
into-
I think season 3 was a lot of resetting everything. So I think we'll see the effects of that in season 4. It felt like, you know how you have transition episodes from time to time? That felt like a transition season.
Introducing a lot of ideas and expanding the world a lot.
Yeah.
Why are they advertising so much that Felicity's mom is coming back for like multiple episodes? You know, they keep doing that on a bunch of websites. I'm like, do you know that people didn't like her very much?
Really? That's not the impression I got. It just doesn't seem like
that's
news.
her real mom, right?
That's a real.
Yeah, that's
In real life?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I'm
No.
pretty sure.
No.
What?
I don't think that's
Nuh-uh.
true.
Stop.
I don't think that's true.
Impossible. What?
If I'm wrong,
Hey.
that's cool.
Who?
Hey,
So what
wait a
tweets
minute.
do we have about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh, nothing yet, guys. Don't worry, but keep sending them in what your thoughts are, what other shows could learn from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Bask
what you
Kev
liked about
in
it.
the chat says, what can they learn? You can start new
you go.
story in new seasons or series, but you must be able to see the overarching picture and not 5 weird unknown plot lines. I agree with that. Like where you have a very clear idea in this episode of what everyone's doing this year. You know, Daisy is coming to her own as an Inhuman. She's learning how to protect other Inhumans, and she's become, in many ways, Phil's equal. Like she doesn't say Coulson anymore. She called him Phil this week.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm your equal. We're
That's
partners
cool.
in this.
I'm still not quite sure how I feel about Marvel doubling down on this idea of Inhumans as the new mutants. It just doesn't really
gel for you as a comic fan.
I like the real fear you felt when he was looking at the map, the simulation of
it's all over
shit,
the
there's
place.
a lot.
Because one of
ton.
the things the comics have tried to do to differentiate the Inhumans from, while making them more like mutants, also differentiating them, is the scale of their abilities. And you got a sense of that with Meltdown, because the whole city was kind of a wreck. I don't know.
He wouldn't because they're trying to do the Secret Warriors. He
Which
wouldn't be
isn't
a
really- I
great
think that's the other thing that-
teammate, would he?
Yeah, I mean, unless there's more to his power than just melting metal.
I mean, he could take out all the guns if he focused.
All
the
That
guns.
happened. You already saw
Meltdown
that.
doors.
Yeah.
You could seal a whole tank.
I'd
you
also
got
like
feelings?
to see, and we won't. This episode seemed to solidify for me that we won't see some of the actual Secret Warriors characters other than Quake, which kind of bums me out.
Hey, not yet. We got a
Not
whole
yet.
season.
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to be
But
introducing
we've
them
got-
all season.
Yeah, but we've got Lincoln and Meltdown, and it's like you could have done, you know.
Gordon was cool, but you got a pipe through his back or whatever.
Yeah, Gordon, he's bad.
He's a bad guy.
I'm the
What
guy
about
that kills
Flash?
Gordon.
Yeah. I love that the axe got a name check this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shotgun.
That's fun. There's Levy Lippincott from Twitter writes, so has Agent May been written off the show with Coulson's line about her disappearing, or will she
no,
be back?
she's in the cast photo.
Definitely back.
Yeah, she'll be
Definitely.
back next week.
Yeah, she's just chilling right now. There's
She's
a lot
just
of
taking
things
a
that
quick
happened
nap,
last season.
All right? She's
All right.
hanging out with her hubby.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Big strapping man.
A lot of throws to Civil War. A lot. And
Yeah.
I guess this new agency might be tied to, I was thinking at least, the character that they're going to introduce in the movie, that Martin Freeman's character will probably be tied to this
sure, in
agency in
Civil
some
War.
kind. Which-
I was kind of disappointed
Oh, the
when they're like, we're
ATCU.
we're creating a new agency to deal with this alien threat in the world, and I was like, Sword. No, it's not. It's not that. Okay. All
no,
right.
it's the ATCU.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got a couple
good.
Sword comments, but that would have been cool. If
That
it
would
was
have been
Sword.
really cool, especially if you had an agency that went down. It was called S.H.I.E.L.D. We're like Sword. It makes it sound more aggressive. It deals with aliens like it does. in
And
the
you have a lot
comics.
of
Just felt
jokes
like a-
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe by
Sword and Shield.
season's end they'll rename it to Sword because they'll be working together,
Maybe.
working hand in hand.
Maybe.
Shield in one hand, a sword in the other.
Someone commented, Gemma now helps connect Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to Guardians of the Galaxy and more Kree stuff.
Wow.
Maybe.
Aliens?
More aliens, at least.
Extraterrestrial?
Maybe they
Yeah,
got a
I would
teleporter
like
now.
to see some aliens up in this bitch.
Yeah. Let's see some more aliens. It looks like next week we're getting back that one Asgardian from season 1 that no one cared about.
I'm bummed that we're not. I'm bummed
Wait,
that
the one
Jamie
hidden?
Alexander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she might show up for an episode, but I'm bummed. Clearly, you could get her for TV. I'm bummed that she didn't become just a cast member on the show.
No.
like that would have been great.
I know. They're not ready to get too weird with this show. Like that's the thing is like Arrow, they're
got
like, no,
freaky
this show's
season
weird
3.
now.
Yeah.
Like let's be weird. S.H.I.E.L.D. has yet to be that weird.
Hey,
Yeah.
they're getting there. They're
They'll-
getting there.
they'll get there.
They're like almost there.
Yeah.
They're so close to being there.
All
A
right.
little weird, guys.
Yeah. Melty
right.
Metal was fun.
DJ, it's time for your
Time for
pop list.
Pull it.
Oh my gosh, guys, we got a big week. Listen, first up, DC Comics. You got Action Comics 45, which has been killer. I think it's the best Superman book on the stands.
Wow.
Brad Pack, Aaron Cutter. Superman's still dealing with the fallout of not really having his powers. And you've got the first issue of Batman and Robin Eternal, which will be a weekly comic like Batman Eternal, and it's dealing with the relationship of Batman and Robin, and it will tie into a bunch of the Robin books. Pretty much every main Robin has a book right now.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Omega Man number 5, it was canceled and then it got uncanceled. It will get its full 12 issue run.
Really?
Yes.
Because we live in a magical time, everybody. Over in more independent stuff, Archie Comics is releasing Jughead number 1.
Wow.
Yeah, Jughead's getting his own comic. They've been the
He
whole
was annoying.
the redo of everything has been really well received. It's been really good. So if you want something that doesn't involve superheroes punching the shit out of buildings, that's your answer to that.
I used to read Archie comics when I was 10.
Yeah, well, it's if you liked it when you were 10, it might be the time to check it out now because it's been
Jughead,
getting a
though.
Brian K. Vaughan has a new indie book coming out, and he's with Wonder Woman artist Cliff Chang, who's one of my favorite artists, and it's called Paper Girls. And it takes place in the 80s. Paper Girls. Paper Girls.
Like paper.
Like they have a paper route. And
Not
paper
that they
girls.
peep.
No.
Okay.
It sounds really cool, so I recommend checking that out next week. Southern Bastards is coming out with its 11th issue over in Marvel. Amazing Spider-Man #1 with Peter Parker's new Tony Stark-like setup, and you're like, well, wait, isn't Secret Wars not 10? It's not even close to being done, but Marvel wants you to have these books now.
Wow.
Iron Man, Invincible Iron Man #1 is also coming out with his new status quo with Mary Jane and not being a super rich bastard. And then speaking of Secret Wars not being done, it's only in issue 6 of 9, which comes out next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's been Marvel's best event in years.
That's cool.
So good.
In my opinion. And also, guys, if you had not had a chance to check it out, my Indiegogo for my short film World Mature is still ongoing. We are so close to our
Within
level.
spitting distance.
Yeah, like just a couple $100. So if you haven't donated, please donate. If we get over the amount we've asked for, we're going to introduce some stretch goals and some new rewards to some of the other tiers. And we're talking about doing some really cool things. We're in talks with a really cool actor to be a part of a short to do the narration. It looks like we've locked the band that's going to be doing the score for it.
Awesome.
It's going to be a really rad short. And the more we asked for the absolute minimum we would need to accomplish it. If we go over, the better the short will be, and the more we can do with it, the more festivals we can put it in and stuff like that. So please, 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 if you haven't donated, please check it out.
DJ make a
Help
movie.
DJ make a dang
Short.
movie.
Go to Indiegogo. I'll probably put something in the comics. Go to Indiegogo, look up Real Mature.
Yeah.
And you'll find it.
So next week on the show, I mean, it's a big week for superhero TV fans everywhere because Arrow and Flash come back. Now, we're still figuring some stuff out because also next Friday is our show, SourceFed and Philly live in New York City, which is going to be airing at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific Time on Friday. It's going to be on SourceFed on YouTube. Go check that out. But because most of us are going to be in New York, DJ is going to be here. We're figuring out how to best make a show for you where we will talk about Arrow and Flash. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great show. We can't wait to hear all of your thoughts. Maybe as soon as you've watched those shows, hit us up with the hashtag SH Roundup so that just in case the show isn't live next week, it's a possibility that it won't be live, and we will let you know at least 2 days in advance whether or not it will be. Send us your tweets early so that we can incorporate them, okay? Thank you all so much. Again, we're here every Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sam Basher.
Sam.
Maud Garrett.
Maud.
DJ Wooldridge.
Thank you.
Matt Lieberman. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
What's October?
And I Zombie.
And a zombie!
Oh, shit.